So as soon as I turn, I look. See, he needs to go. When I look, he needs to know. That's the way of my body. When I look this way, if I keep looking, he needs to find that transition. He needs to feel. When I turn, my body turns this way. So when I turn, he needs to feel that and go with my motion. Go with that signal. And it needs to be automatic. Like that. Now when I move forward, he needs to face forward. When I start to turn here, he needs to feel this motion here. This is the motion. Right there. See? That was better. That looked better. Pet him. Right? These are the little things that need to happen. Makes a big difference. When I turn, he needs to feel that motion. Back him up. Turn. Feel that motion. Back him up. Turn. There it is. Now he's getting better. And I'm going to use my leg because I want to maneuver him off my leg more. I want to maneuver him off of my legs more. So that way, if I just tap with my leg here, I don't have to do much with my hands. And keep one thing in mind. Your hands need to stay centered at all times. Your hands shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be down here. You shouldn't be pulling up here. You shouldn't be cranking the horse. You shouldn't do anything that's gonna come and kind of block the communication. You shouldn't do anything that's gonna block the communication between you and the horse. You ask, and you do everything so you can follow through. He can follow through. That's what you're doing. You're setting him up so he can follow through with the communication of the tools that you're using, which is your Hackamore, your Macate, your legs, everything. The way you're seated, your legs. A horse should be able to follow through, not be forced through the turn. That's a big difference. You'll see a lot of people, they do this. They do this time and time again. They'll be down here. They'll say, go real wide. This doesn't do anything for a horse. When you're centered and you're able to move a horse off of, like here, off a nice little signal, keep everything real nice and balanced like this. See if pet him. He's gonna be a little bit more. It's gonna be a lot more rewarding to him. But not only that, as soon as he starts to be soft, you'll be able to control this horse with the flick of a finger instead of having to be way out here, because it's gonna throw him off balance. As soon as you start to pull, you're off balance. As soon as you come here, you're off balance. You need to stay in balance at all times. That's the importance of riding with feel, with timing, with rhythm, with balance, and staying soft. That's very important when you're riding, especially using a Hackamore Macate. Right? If you need to correct them, you can add a little bit more pressure. But horses don't learn from pressure. They learn from the release. That's very important. And so the more you do this, the better he's going to be. And it takes time. To make a true Hackamore or bridle horse, 7 to 10 years. It takes time. So how much time do you really have to put into your horsemanship? A lot of people, so-called trainers, say, well, I could do X amount of things in 3 months. Then they're not really working with the horse. They're working against the horse. It's a big difference from being a horse trainer and a horseman. So, that's kind of, to me, it's the way you go about it. The way you go about it in here. What are you allowing the horse to learn? You see, I don't need tie downs, no martingales, no draw reins. I can just get it done with my hands and with my tools and use them properly. That's where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of people thinking that by forcing a horse to do something, that's the way it needs to be done, just because they've grown up in that environment. That is the wrong way to do something. If you go back to tradition, way back to tradition, 1600s, 1700s, way back, you'll find that these ways was a lifestyle, and we veered so much far from this. But in time, it should get better. These ways should always be better. They should always be better, softer, and you steer away from any type of breaking, any type of forceful way of treating the horse or cranking, yanking. It shouldn't ever be that way. So if you can't handle a horse with softness and having the horse in mind instead of your own your own pleasures, right, of thinking, then you shouldn't be doing it. Because I'd rather learn from the horse than try to teach the horse anything. All right? Humans, what they say is a pleasure to them as far as training, like tying them. You'll see horses get tied or they just keep going in a circle. And then they'll say, well, he's learning how to release. No, he's not. The release is when the horse could come back to a neutral position. If you're teaching a horse to flex, or you're teaching a horse to untrack its hind quarter or to do a turnaround, that horse needs to turn around and come back to his natural position like this here. When you have a horse tied and they keep going in a circle, 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 you're not teaching that horse anything. You just forced them into that position where now he has to adjust his natural thinking and do something that's unnatural to steer away from that pressure, which is stand still and bend in because he wants to be untied. If you allow the horse to come back to a neutral zone, now you're working with the horse and not against the horse. So big difference.